Hi guys, my name is Kuich and I'm a Health and Wellbeing Officer at North Richmond, and today we'll be talking about the influence that social media has on the perception of vaping, and also we'll be going through the steps that young people can take to quit vaping.
To add on what we talked about briefly before, how do you think social media has affected how Australians view vaping?
Driver.
Yeah.
Driver.
Yeah.
I mean, social media, before social media, we couldn't really see everything that was going on around the world, but with access now, with like very ease of access to all of this information and to all of these other people, influencers, it's much more easy to fall into that feeling of FOMO, which then leads you into wanting to try these things.
What's the actual, I guess, when you're streaming, is there specific things that pop out for you when it comes to vaping?
I feel like influencers a lot of time, right? Just like smoking heaps.
Yeah.
Influencers, for me personally, maybe I've got more resistance to it, but because I just genuinely I love my fitness too much. Pushes in the morning.
Yeah, so that's where your focus is. My understanding also is, and I've witnessed it myself, is particularly on social media, is random people doing things, then people TikTok clips everywhere, and the vapes in the hands of most people who actually post there. And it's not just, I guess, random people doing random things. It's also, pop stars, actors, even
people with influence. People who can...
correct. People with influence, and also even government employees, so there's a real mix there of, as you can see, it doesn't matter who you are, nicotine's not going to favour what you do as a profession or an influencer. That addiction or that dependency is very powerful. It's the trend of it, and it becomes, unfortunately, it's becoming way too normalised, particularly in the last 12 months.
There's a stat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think from 2019 to 2022, like the amount of people vaping has doubled. Is that correct?
There's been a significant increase.
Yeah, it's like close to double or something like that.
There's been a significant increase, particularly women. Yeah. Females,
it's risen women.
Yeah. So I guess, from that, what are the steps, that young people can take to help reduce the risk of harm of vaping, and how can they support others who are trying to quit? Like where would you be able to refer someone or offer support? What would that look like, I guess?
That's tricky, because we're dealing with the symptoms, not the actual root cause, which makes it's not futile, but it makes it way more harder to combat it. But support systems, I would say, but ultimately it'll all fall back onto the person, because you can't help a person who doesn't want to be helped. I know from experience, if I don't want help and somebody's trying to offer help, I might sit there, I might listen, but as one of my favorite teachers and also year coordinator said, Henry, I know things going through one ear and out the other. You see?
Is that a you thing or is that a Henry thing?
It's a you thing as well. Because sometimes we're just fixed, there's like too many things going on. There's other factors like, our friendship groups, everybody there does it, at school. Maybe we might not do it, but outside of school, we're free to do it. And but people just gotta come to you of their own accord. That's my thoughts. So.
What do you think, honey?
I feel like there needs to be a lot of government action around selling of vapes and stuff, and even that can only go so far. The online sale of vapes is banned, but you'll still see it on eBay and stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
In a very clever manner, people selling stuff under different names, but it is selling vapes.
Same thing.
Yeah, I feel like there needs to be more education around what that could look like on the impacts of what it can do. Like we didn't know that the cannabis oil incident happened and ended up causing a death in America. And things like vapes, and most vapes have lead in them, which is such a scary like chemical in like most other instances, but like just because it's fruit flavored, it's like fine now.
Yeah, that's right. There's paint remover in there. There's
Literally.
and I guess you can, you know, you can always, depending on the person, of course, you can say things like, "Well, would you drink that?"
Yeah.
You know, the support group. There are support groups, you know, and Quit Line obviously is what we try to encourage as many people to call to help with vaping, of course, with smoking. One of the great things for youth also at Quit Line is that it is confidential. So we don't discuss anything with families unless there is a concern, then we do. And, you know, speaking to, depending on the person, you know, speaking to the GP, the school nurse, pharmacist at least, on being able to use nicotine replacement products to support the nicotine withdrawal. I mean, essentially don't start vaping at all as a preference.
The best case scenario.
You know, but like you said, Henry, you know, people aren't going to want to get help unless they don't want it. But there feels like, from my understanding and from a lot of the youth that I've spoken to, there does feel like there's a lot of hopelessness about stopping. You know, there's a lot of hopelessness in doing that. And once we spend time with that person and then they realise actually that it's not hopeless, I can do this. It's working out someone's motivation, which in your case, Henry, is your fitness.
What would you say is your motivation to not vape? Because me personally, because I vaped for a little bit, and I noticed it was affecting my ability to like be able to run long distances, and I'm like, I don't want to have to quit playing soccer just because like of vaping, you know. So I just threw it away and just never touched it again.
Oh, that's so good. I think it literally gives me anxiety attacks. Yeah. Like the nicotine, instantly like messes with me to the point where I like have like an anxiety attack, which is funny because like I ask my friends if that happens to them, and I'm like, but they're like, it's takes you away from like whatever it's in your head. So for them, it's like, even though it's so bad, they're like, it's better than experiencing like just depression and just like higher amounts of anxiety because you can have it out. And it's it's just not anything that I'm like.
That's like their way of coping, sort of, like just using the vapes.
Exactly, yeah. I have a friend like in like quite a sort of difficult situation, and for them it's like an out. And when you are in like a hopeless state, and that can offer you like an escape even for a second, you're gonna hook onto it. And they've been trying to quit for almost like 8 months now. And it's just like a journey of like 3 days, and then they find someone who has a vape, and then they go back.
Yeah, and it's usually the 3-day mark is where the most trickiest time of quitting is actually. It is the most, like that's the point. We know through extensive research that it shows day 3 of stopping is like, give it to me now. You know, so, and we do talk to people on their, you know, before they quit, after they quit. And unfortunately though, both smoking and vaping increases anxiety and depression significantly, and that's why it's really good for people who do suffer anxiety or depression or any mental health condition to stop, because it does actually benefit them a lot.
It's all in the dopamine. It's all in the dopamine.
It is. It's dopamine released all the time. And the brain has to adjust, you know, through withdrawing and also not receiving the dopamine release like this all the time. And vaping is a faster delivery than what tobacco is. So tobacco is within seconds. And vaping is even quicker than that.
That's mind-blowing. I feel like I noticed like a lot of people, it either opens up channels for other sort of substance abuse, like alcohol and stuff. Like I personally like had a sort of history of like alcohol use, and I noticed like if I do engage with like vaping, it basically gets me back in that sort of same mindset. And I had a lot of friends who like were doing alcohol for a bit and then stopped and then started vaping, and that hit way faster than anything else. And even on the other side of it, people would vape and then they started using alcohol, and they would be like, oh, I know this makes me feel worse, but at least it's not like
Yeah.
that bad.
I love the way you guys have really dug deep, like you said before, Henry. I love how you've expressed yourself and what you know, what you feel, and what you know of others, because it really does help the community. I think. What about you?
Yeah, I really like what we talked about today. And yeah, you guys know quite a bit as well. So
Yeah.
it's good to see. And
YouTube.
yeah. And I feel like the more people are aware of like the effects that vaping can have on you, I feel like it can lead more people to quit. Because when I first vaped, I didn't think it was like that bad for you. I'm like, oh, it's not as bad as ciggies. But in truth, it could be just as bad, or if not worse, you know?
Legit.
So it's just
They are as bad.
yeah, just as bad. Yeah. So just raising that awareness.
They can blow your lungs up.
Literally.
Literally.
But I feel like it's also like kind of nice to not nice, but like it helps to focus on like other sort of aspects of how it can be bad. Like people think that it'll like not last long enough, but when you're thinking of brain development and things like that, like young people don't really give a crap about that.
No, they don't. That's right. And they don't. I mean, why would you?
Literally,
You know,
right?
It's just difficult though for them, and we really want to get out there and support as much of the youth as we can, for those who really want to stop, you know, and like I said, there's a real strong feeling of hopelessness. And we really want to be able to let them know that it can be done, and we can help.
Exactly. Thank you for having us.
Oh no, thank you for being a part of it. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Anyone want to say anything to sign us off?
Well, as many of you guys know, vaping is a fun getaway from reality, from your troubles, your worries, your stresses, maybe even bad situations. But if you can't keep it under control, seek help. Quit lying.
All right, thank you, Henry.
Thanks, Henry.
And thank you guys for tuning in.
Thanks, honey.